Okay, this is the next question. It's stating as follows. 3b. The diagram below shows an equilateral triangle FGH whose base is 13 cm and its height is h. What we are asked to do is to find the value of h. Okay, this is what is required. So let me draw the equilateral triangle. So this is given. Okay, now this is F, G and H. Now this is the height H given. Now the base is 13 cm. Now what is the important part in the equilateral triangle? For an equilateral triangle, all sides are equal. So this means FH is equal to FG is equal to HG. FH is equal to FG is equal to HG, which is equal to 13. So all the sides are 13 units or 13 cm. Now we are asked to calculate the height. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw it like this. Okay, so this part is represented like this. Now let me take this as O. So this is O, G, H. Now if this entire base is 13, this is going to be 6.5 cm. And this is H. And this side is also 13. Now this is 90 degrees. And this is our hypotenuse side. Okay. So by Pythagoras rule or theorem, what can you do? By Pythagoras law, or you can state it as theorem, what do we know? WKT stands for we know that OG squared plus OH squared is equal to HG squared. So this is 6.5 squared positive h squared is equal to 13 squared. Okay, so h squared is equal to 13 squared negative 6.5 squared. So 169.00 42.25. So you carry 1 out here, you get 10 here. From 10 you take away 5, you get 5. From 9 you take away 2, you get 7 there. So 1 has already been borrowed out, so you have 8 here. From 8 you take away 2, you get 6. From 6 you take away 4, you get 2, and you have this value 126.75. So h squared is equal to 126.75. You are allowed to use calculator. If you are allowed to use calculator, you don't have to be bothered with all this. Just enter the values and you get the outcome. But in case you want to be increasing your aptitude level in numeracy, then you can adopt this technique. Now h is equal to square root of 126.75. Again, use a calculator and obtain this value. You will get an approximate value of 11.3 cm. Okay, so that is the solution for this question. Okay, this is the next question. This is 3c. The diagram shows 3 triangles PQR. The triangles Q and R are images of triangle P. After it undergoes double transformation. Now I'm going to draw the figure, but let me complete the question. Now what they are asking us is to describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle P onto triangle R. Okay, so from P the image is becoming R, so that's the idea. So let me show you the diagram. Okay, so this is the chart given. So you have the x-axis and the y-axis. Now from this point I'm dropping the shape that is being given. Okay, and this is P. Now this is actually hitting at 2. This is 2 units. Now exactly at 4 the next transformation takes place. So this is 4 units here. There is a hit, and this is corresponding to 2 units there. Now this is moving all the way up to 4 units. So this is my 4 units. And the figure is completed. And this is our R. Okay. So now the question is, P is becoming R and we are asked to give the transformation. State the transformation. State the transformation. Now remember this idea. The structure, the shape is preserved. That means whatever you see here, you see the same thing over there, but in a different position. So this can be related like this. So this person is over here. From here, this person has to become, or this person has to go there. So this person is at a lower point, but the person has to ascend from this lower point to this point. So what he has to do? Foremost, generally, okay, you speak in the, or you see it in the reality sense. From where you are to where you want to go, what should you do? You need to do something at the exact point where you are located. So this is the reality, real life example I am giving. From where you are, whatever you have, whatever resources you got, you have to use those resources, and then you have to slowly move towards the expected point that you want. So from here you want to go here. You should not try to jump from here to there. So what you need to do, from here you slowly move yourself exactly from where you are with whatever resources you are. You move yourself to be in line with the point that you want to go. So that is exactly what you have to do. So from here, how many units this person has to move? So definitely this unit has to be 3, right? This point is 3, this point is 4. Figure is not to scale. Now between this point and this point, how many units do we have? You got 1 and 2. So the transformation is going to be along the y-axis, or I would say along the x-axis first. Along the x-axis, this shape has to move 2 units. Okay, fair enough. That's the first thing that a person has to do, whether he wants to, or I would say wherever he or she is present or located. So what this man does is that he moves 2 units along the x direction. Okay, so now he is in line with the expected or with his objective, but he has still not reached his destination. To achieve his destination, he has to make the jump. So how many units he has to make the jump? He has come to this point already here. So from here, he has to jump, not to land here, he has to land here. Okay, if he lands here, his peak or his highest point, his zenith will not be over here. His zenith will only end up landing here. So that's what they say. If you aim for the sky, you land up at the treetop. Okay, so that's a proverb. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that you have to ascend here. Of course, in this case, to reach here, how many units you should move? So from here, you've already landed up in line with the target or the end point. From this particular point, you have to move how many units? You have to move 4 units, because that's exactly the point where this graph is located or this shape is located. So that is going to be the required transformation. So why is it a transformation? The figure is preserved. The shape of the figure is preserved and it is on the same plane. So when I talk about the same plane, this is the positive side of the axis. Okay, because x-axis, no matter you locate a point here or here, it's always going to be positive. So we are not doing anything much. We are only finding out the units. Okay, this is the next question. Next question is find the transformation that maps R to Q. So we got another figure. Now this figure is actually given like this. So this, if I were to take this point as 1, there is in line with negative, this is actually -1, so -1, and it is actually located at this point, and then from here it stretches to -2. So if I were to take this as -2, it stretches all the way to -2. So this point is 1, so this is -2, and then you have the completion of the figure. Okay, so from here the figure is actually moving to the other part of the axis. So this is a positive side, but this is a negative side. Now what you have to do is you have to first find the midpoint, because this shape is actually the reflection of this shape. You see here how this figure is located. Now clearly I know this is 1 unit, and this is 2 units, this is 3 units, this is 4 units, and this is 5 units. So there is one particular unit on which the reflection is actually taking place. Now if I were to take this as a center, I have to ensure I can draw this line. There is no harm in drawing this line. Okay, whether it is included in the answer or not does not matter. We can draw any number of lines on this plane, x and y axis, it does not matter. But what matters is the solution. So as I mentioned to you, clearly from this point, from this node here, or I would say from the vertex, from this vertex to this vertex, because they are the same vertex, the only thing is that there is a reflection that is taking place. So you have 1 unit, 2 unit, and from this vertex you have 1 unit, 2 unit. So actually what is happening here? The shape is actually being reflected on the line x is equal to 1. That is the understanding that you need to gather here. So you can state here the transformation that is occurring, the transformation that is causing R to become Q is a reflection taking place at x is equal to 1. So x is equal to 1 is the line. So that is the conclusion for this lovely question. So let's move on.